What is going on, everyone? It's LA Sports back with another stream. I haven't done a stream in quite some time now, but I feel like this is a good time to do it. Summer is starting here, so I'm going to be doing these, more often now that I've got some more time. I'm going to have some special guests on the channel, with the live streams coming up, so I'm excited for that. But like I said, I thought this was a good time, especially today, being that it is the NBA draft tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's going to be very, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to that. We'll see ultimately what the Toronto Raptors decide to do. There's been a lot of rumors with OG Anunoby potentially maybe getting traded. I don't really know. That's too tough to say, but it's been very interesting. All these rumors are interesting. And I wonder where the Raptors are going to go. But we're going to, sort of start to know some things tonight. And hopefully throughout the course of this live stream, we get some news on the, around the NBA on potential moves. But before I went live, there were a couple of trades even last night. Realistically, let's just recap the offseason so far. Of course, that Christian Wood trade to the Dallas Mavericks, that was an interesting one. Him and Luka Doncic, I think, is going to be a pretty good duo over there in Dallas. So that should be interesting, as well as yesterday, the Jeremy Grant trade. He is now in Portland Trailblazer. I think that's a good move for the Trailblazers as they sort of try and start to rebuild that championship roster around Damian Lillard. Now they've got Jeremy Grant. They have Josh Hart. They have the 7th overall pick. They have Anthony Simons. Yusuf Nurkic is an unrestricted free agent, but he could possibly stay there. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. But and now, you hear obviously that they're interested in OG Anunoby. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And then there was a minor trade. The LA Lakers, they got a draft pick tonight. They made a trade with the Orlando Magic. They got the 35th overall pick for a future second-round pick and some cash. So that's very interesting there. We'll see what the Lakers elect to do this offseason. It should be, to say the least, it should be interesting to see what the Lakers do. They've been in a difficult situation for quite some time now, but we're just waiting for some people to get in here before we get things going here. But I just want to let everyone know I'm going to have a ton of off-season content for the Raptors, the Leafs. Of course, the NFL season's almost here, so I'm going to have some Giants content. Of course, we're in the baseball season, so Blue Jay content as we get some news, but it's been fun. So continue to stay tuned, and anyone that's in here and haven't already done so, please like, subscribe, and be active in that chat during today's stream. I see Panther Central. He was here earlier. So we'll see if he joins on back, but just waiting for some people to get going here with some questions. So we'll see what happens. But it's been the channel's been doing well. It's been growing pretty well, so I appreciate all the support everyone showed to the channel. So thank you to everybody that has been commenting on the videos, subscribing to the channel, and leaving likes on the videos. The Raptors offseason content's really getting a lot of attention, so hopefully that's able to continue. I'm going to have a lot of it, like I said, as the offseason progresses. Of course, today I made that Serge Ibaka video. I've been doing a lot of videos on free agent targets, so I've got about 4 more of those to do before next Thursday's free agency date, which is actually a week today. So I'm going to wrap those up, and then I'm going to continue with the offseason content and the Maple Leafs content, as that's going to really start to pick up as well. But tonight's going to be a fun NBA draft. I'm going to have a video, obviously, tonight on what the Raptors decide to do at 33. And if they make more moves, or I'm sure they're going to sign some undrafted guys. So I'll probably have a video out on that as well to talk about those players. So it should be very fun and very interesting next few weeks and months on the channel. There we got Kieran in the chat. What's going on, buddy? It's been a while since I've seen you in the streams, but it's good to see you. Hopefully you've been doing well, and your Patriots obviously made an interesting first-round pick, but I mean, never really questioned that team. They always seem to have it right, so we'll see what ends up happening over there. But thank you for being here. If you got any questions or anything like that, leave them down below in the chat. I'll get to them as we go. But like I said, nice to see you in there. I believe you're a Warriors fan, so congrats actually on the title. That was pretty good run for them. They had a really, really nice run, and I actually picked them to go to the finals and lose to the Heat, but they ended up going to the finals and winning it. Al Smith's in the chat. What's going on, Al? Always see you in here. It's good to see you again. Al Smith all the way from New York. What do the New York Rangers do from here? Well, first of all, congrats on that great run in the playoffs. You guys really I thought you guys were going to the Cup final. In Game 3, you guys had a 2-0 lead, and if you guys win that game, you win it easily, probably in 5. So, but you guys got a bright future, so there's really nothing to worry about there for the Rangers. As long as they continue to just do, as long as they continue to do what they've been doing, win games. Coach continues to do what he's got to do. He's been doing great. Shesterkin stays solid in net. You guys should be good for quite a while. I was so pumped when the Warriors won. Finally, Steph Curry got his Finals MVP. Yeah, I mean, he deserved it. I really think he took his game to another level. And I came out on Twitter and I said he is a top 10 player of all time, and I don't think it's even questionable. With the run that he put on, I think that was probably his best title because he didn't have as much help as he had in previous years. So that was very impressive. Although he had some help. Andrew Wiggins was phenomenal. Jordan Poole, obviously you got Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, but Steph was the main piece, and this is Steph's title right here. This is Steph's title, so that's very good. I really like Steph Curry. I'm actually wearing a Steph Curry t-shirt right now, but he's phenomenal, so congrats to him. It was a really great run, and I hate Boston, so I hate really every Boston team. I know you're a Patriots fan, but I don't really mind the Patriots, but the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox, I don't like them. So I'm happy that they lost, and I love Steph Curry, so I'm happy that he was able to win the title as well. But it should be an exciting offseason. Tonight's the draft, so apparently the Celtics want the Warriors' 28th overall pick, so let's see if they make a deal. That would be pretty interesting. I mean, make a trade with the team that you beat in the finals, so that would be pretty cool. What's the best possible offseason for the Raptors? Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I think the best possible offseason is they can get a solid center in the draft tonight that falls, like a really solid player that's supposed to go in the back end of the first round, mid to back end of the first round. They're able to get him. And then in terms of, free agency, I mean, it's tough. It's really tough to say and give you a name, but I would love for them to go out there and get a guy like bring back Serge Ibaka. I would love that. I'm going to keep it realistic in the best possible offseason. Bring back Serge Ibaka and then get a good, solid center and another backup point guard. That would be a very good offseason for me as a Raptors fan. I see Jeffy in here. What's up, bro? Hope all is going well. Good luck to your Raptors heading into the draft tonight and offseason. I appreciate that. I appreciate you for being here. Smash the like button and sub up to LA Sports. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. It's always good to see you in the chat, and I'm excited for New York Giants football as we're just around the corner. So hopefully we can continue to see how our team is progressing. I'm obviously really excited with this new regime, and to see what the Giants can do. But thank you so much for for the kind words, and it's great to see you in here as always. But what do you think is going to happen with the Giants this season? Do you think Dayball and his new coaching staff is able to turn around Daniel Jones, and Saquon has a great year? What do you think's going to happen? Where do you kind of see that playing out? I kind of like to hear a bunch of people say it, because there's either the side that hates Daniel Jones, and then there's a side like me that is dying for him to just be good and be good enough to give him another contract, or at least franchise tag him. I mean, that would be amazing for me. I really just want Daniel Jones to succeed. I think he's a solid player. When he is at his best, I think he can do some good things at the quarterback spot. But we got him the offensive line going, so hopefully he's able to prove why Dave Gettleman drafted him at 6 overall. But let me know what you think. But as for the Raptors' best possible offseason, Kieran, that's what I think. In my opinion, there's a lot of opinions. I mean, some people want to go out and make a big splash, make a big trade, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. Rudy Gobert trade kind of, I don't know, it's weird because it kind of scares me, but at the same time, I see the benefits. I think the contract is the only thing that just kind of scares me off. But there's a lot of names that we could go after. But it's going to be an interesting offseason, that's for sure. What are your expectations statistically for Evan Neal and that defensive end? Statistically for Evan Neal, it's kind of hard to give offensive lineman stats, but honestly, for Evan Neal, I'm not really going to give you a statistic expectation. Sure, he gives up 2 or less sacks. That would be good. But I just want to see him, grow as a player, grow with the offensive line, make everyone else around him better, click early, start to protect for Daniel Jones, run block, do all those things that we brought him in here to do. Then as for Kayvon Thibodeau, if he can get 8 or 9 sacks, 10 sacks, that would be awesome. Like if he has the type of year that Azeez Ojulari had in, statistics wise, that would be good. And just be a dog out there and just make everyone around you better. And I think both of them are really going to be solid players. And I'm really excited to see them get out there on the football field. That's really what a lot of Giants fans are excited to see. What the hype of these two players was about, because we obviously know that these were probably the two biggest names and the most highly talked about names throughout the whole draft process, throughout everybody's mocks. They were both at one point projected number 1 overall pick. So the fact that the Giants were able to get them at 5 and 7 is just it's just fantastic. So it's been exciting, and I just hope that we're able to just really get going again and find the win column and just be consistent. If Daniel Jones doesn't have a great year, would you say to draft a guy like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud? See, this is a tough question, because I like both of those quarterbacks. The only problem is I just don't think the Giants are going to be in a position to get those guys. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to have, to be in a spot to draft a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young. You need to have a top 3 or 5 pick to get those guys. And if you're asking me right now, do I think the Giants are a bottom 5 team in the NFL? No, I think they're around the 10 to 12 range, but that's not good enough to get that franchise quarterback, at least in this upcoming draft class. So unless there's a trade up, I just don't see those guys getting to where we're going to pick. Now, what would I do in that scenario? In that case, it depends how bad of a year Jones has. Like if he has a bad statistical year and the Giants suck, then yeah, probably move on from him and get a stopgap guy. Maybe you just go along with Tyrod Taylor, or maybe you get a guy like Baker Mayfield, or who knows. But it's really really weird. If Daniel Jones, if the Giants win 9 games, 8 or 9 games, 8 to 10 games, and Jones is an above average quarterback, nothing great, but like around the 12 to 13 range for quarterbacks among the NFL, I think you franchise tag him, and I think you if he can do it again or be a little bit better, then you give him the big money. But it's going to be interesting, and he's got to prove a lot before we can even talk about him being in a New York Giant uniform in 2023. I think that the Giants will have a 10-win year, but next year quarterback class is so deep and looks really good. Yeah, I hope you're right about a 10-win year. If we have a 10-win year, that means Daniel Jones probably played very well, and we're talking about extending him, or at the very least franchise tagging him, and he plays on the tag, and then he does the same thing again, and then we give him the money. That would be an ideal scenario for the New York Giants. You don't have to go through that drafting a quarterback process that we all know how long that takes and how stressful and difficult especially for a fan base that is. So hopefully Jones is able to be the guy and do some good things. But we'll see. And it's definitely it's hard to say because the Giants got to stay healthy. That's the number one thing. If they can stay healthy and, the offensive line is average or above average, I think Jones can be good. But he's got to do that before we could say anything. Jones will be good, I hope. I mean, Al, we're two of the most optimistic Giants fans out there. So, you obviously know that I want him to succeed, and I know you want him to succeed, and hopefully he's able to do that. I believe if Barkley gets hurt again this year and misses like 8 or 9 games, I think it would be best to trade him and find a help. Yeah, you know what? If Barkley misses 8 or 9, if he misses 5 games, he's not with the Giants anymore. I mean, again, he's another guy that has to prove things this season. He needs to prove that he could stay healthy and produce like he did in his first season. He needs to do that, and he's a free agent at the end of next season. So, like I said, if he wants money and if he wants to stay in New York, which all signs point to him wanting to stay, he's gonna have to do some good things. But if he misses 8 or 9 games, his trade value is nothing, and you can't trade him because he's a free agent. Then he probably goes on to walk, and his career, at that point, it's going down the drain, and he's on his last leg, Saquon Barkley. But I think he's going to be able to stay healthy with that, behind that, much improved offensive line, and I think that he comes out and he has a spectacular year, and I hope that's the case because I love Saquon Barkley, and I hope he's able to just be himself and be the top of the league running back that we all expect him and expect him to be and think that he is. But we'll see. The NBA, there's been a ton of rumors out there with a lot of players. I mean, Bradley Beal's an interesting one because there are reports that say he's going to decline his player option. Then he says, wait, what? I didn't say anything. Don't believe the media. But, at the same time, maybe he's just trying to cover it up and wait till the last second. It's going to be interesting. And if he's a free agent, there are going to be you would think that 20 teams go out and try and get Bradley Beal. I mean, he's that good of a player. I know that the Giants would definitely go out and try and get him, the Raptors would go out and try and get him if he were to become an unrestricted free agent. I think Beal is going to get traded very soon. Yeah, I don't think he gets traded unless he accepts a player option and then they trade him from there. But I have a feeling he's going to decline that player option and become a free agent. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be very, very interesting. Kieran, who do you want the Warriors to draft tonight with the picks that they have? I know they're at 28. I don't know where else they select, but in terms of the back end of the first round, who do you want them to take, and who do you think they're going to ultimately take? The current Tankathon mock has you guys. This is I normally use this. I really like Tankathon. It has you guys selecting Wendell Moore at 28, which is one of my favorite picks. At that, he's one of my favorite players at that. In that range, I really like Wendell Moore. So if you guys could land him, the small forward out of Duke, that would be a good pick for you guys. You said that tough. I think we need a center with the 28th pick and then a forward with the 52nd pick. This has you going with a forward and then another power forward at 51. It's 51, not 52, and that is from the Toronto Raptors, that 51st pick. And then you guys have another pick at 57. So you guys have 2 second-round picks and 1 first-round pick. So that's good draft capital, especially considering you just won the NBA title. So that is, Golden State's they just seem to always be good, and they're going to be good for a long time. You look at, the young players they got between Moses Moody, Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman. They just got so many players. They can win now, and they can win in 10 years. They're going to be contenders for a long, long time. I've been just refreshing Twitter, for all day, really, just looking at rumors, and there's just so many rumors right now. It's always the case. I could see us training with the Celtics, like you said, out of the first round just because we have a young roster and amazing championship year roster. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know what you guys would really trade it for. I wouldn't think Boston's looking to trade anything off their roster, but maybe they are, or maybe it's for a future first-round pick. But that's definitely something that's interesting and something that you should keep an eye out on, because I think that there's a possibility there. It was from a pretty credible source, so it's been interesting. But any new viewers, thank you so much for being in here. Please leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and comment down in the live chat any questions or anything you guys have. Leave it down below in the comments, and I'll get to it. But it's NBA draft day, so let me know your favorite team in the NBA. Let me know who you want them to draft at what pick tonight. But like I said, thank you everyone for being here, and please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate all the support you guys always show. Bro, it's good seeing you, and I'll pop it. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for popping by, Kieran, and we'll see you. We'll see you soon. Good luck to the Warriors tonight in the draft. Congrats on that title. We'll see you soon, buddy. New viewers, like I said, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the chat. Any sports talk, anything you really want to talk about, leave it down there. This channel, try and post on a near daily basis. Sometimes more than once a day, sometimes once every 3 days, depending on how busy it is. So talk tons of sports on the channel. So, I appreciate any new subscribers. We're trying to get to that 500 number, and every subscriber is much appreciated. Tonight's the NBA draft. It's going to be very exciting. Of course, my Toronto Raptors have the 33rd overall pick, so we'll see what they do with that. The main teams I talk about on the channel: Leafs, Raptors, Giants, Blue Jays. But really, I talk about almost pretty much every team, in terms of big news, but every little thing on those four major teams. Knicks do what tonight? Al Smith says. Well, you guys are interesting spot. You guys have the 11th pick in the first round, and then you have the 42nd pick in the second round, and you don't have anything else. It's going to be interesting what you guys do, because a lot of people, a lot of sources think you guys are trading up because you guys really want Jaden Ivey. I don't know what you guys are going to do. It's interesting, but Tankathon says you guys got Jalen Duran. They're predicting you guys to take Jalen Duran, the center out of Memphis, at number 11 tonight. He's a 6'11", 250-pound freshman. He had a tremendous season, 17 points a game, over 11.5 rebounds, just under 2 assists, 3 blocks, and 1.2 steals. That's a solid player statistic-wise. But you guys are going to get a good player tonight, no matter who you take. Whether you move up or stay where you are, 11 is the lottery pick. There's always good players. There's so many good basketball players. You could even get in the second round, undrafted. There's so many guys. So it's going to be interesting. But if you guys trade your pick, I would imagine you guys, if you trade your pick and don't get a first-round pick tonight, I think you guys, that would mean you guys are getting a superstar. And I think that that's a possibility. I really do. I think you guys are in a position, and you guys have kind of had enough of losing. You guys might want to trade for a superstar. Cavs about to do something stupid. Are you a Cavs fan? When I mean stupid, I mean crazy. What do you think they're going to do, Derpy? Are you a Cavs fan? What about Jalen Brunson? I could see Jalen Brunson. I think that's a strong possibility. I think if you guys get him, you're going to overpay, but I don't think that's something that happens tonight. I would think that's a sign and trade or just a, off-season signing. But I could really see that. A lot of people, around the Knicks, they want Brunson, and I could really see it. Derpy, you're a Cavs fan. What do you want the Cavs to do tonight? You guys pick at 14th overall. That's a pretty good spot to be in. Again, it's another lottery pick. You guys are at 14, I believe 38 or 39. And I don't know if you have you have 3 second-round picks at 49 and 58. So you guys have a lot of draft capital tonight. So what do you think you guys ultimately do? And what do you mean by something stupid? What do you think they're going to do? Jones has everything in front of him to succeed. It's on Jones now. I agree with that. I think they did. I think they've really done enough. This regime's done enough to, put him in a good spot. So hopefully he's able to prove himself. I really am rooting hard for him. We have 4 picks now. There's no way we draft any rookies. Well, I think you guys have a lot of picks. Do you think we traded with Sacramento? Yeah, that was the Sacramento trade today. Do you think you guys, how many of those selections do you think that you guys make? You have 4 picks. Which ones do you think you use, and what trade do you think you make? In terms of my Nets, let's just hope they bring back Kyrie Irving and build a better roster around him, as well as Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons. You guys, I don't even know what's going on with the Nets because if Kyrie leaves, you guys got to blow it up because I think KD leaves, and that would just be a disaster. And I don't think you guys want to even know what happens with I don't think you guys even want to know what happens if you end up trading or not even trading, but Kyrie leaves. So you guys need to bring him back. Apparently there's been reports that say they're going to bring him back on a 4-year deal, 2 years guaranteed, and then the 2 other years it's a max contract, almost $50 million a year. But the 3rd and 4th year depends on how many games he plays. He has to play at least 60 games in the first 2 seasons, and then the 4th year he has to play at least 60 games in the 3rd year, something like that. That would be an interesting contract if you can get him on that. I think that would $50 million is a lot, or 48, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, he's Kyrie Irving, and he's gonna find his game. I don't think he's gonna be like this forever. But you guys had a just brutal playoff run. Nothing really happened there. They want him back, but not at the years and money he wants. Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really would sign him at that. I mean, he's just not worth that, and that's unfortunate. But that's something that he's got to face, and at some point, I think he will. You guys don't have a first-round pick tonight because the Rockets have it, and that's a 17th pick. That's a pretty good pick, but that pick is not owned by you guys. And then you guys don't have a pick tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you don't. You also traded 46 to Portland. So you guys are, pickless tonight unless you make a trade and get picks like the Lakers did because they didn't have picks either. If Irving leaves, then Durant will demand a trade, and then the team will get blown up. Yeah, that's pretty obvious, I think. Honestly, this is just me, but I would love to trade for Mitchell with 14 and 39, maybe LeVert and Osman, but reality, I've heard a lot about Murray from the Spurs. That would be smart. If you guys could get DeJounte Murray, and I did hear about that too, that would be a very good move for you guys. I don't think Donovan Mitchell, you can get him with that package. If you're getting Donovan Mitchell, you probably got to throw in Sexton, 14, 39, LeVert, and another first-round pick. I mean, the Jazz are really hard-headed in terms of trades with him and Rudy Gobert, so it'll be interesting. But I think if you guys make a splash for a big name, I think Murray's a strong possibility for you guys. I think is the most likely. We did, but we turned it. Yes, that's right. Heard a lot of chatter of John Collins, DeJounte Murray trade rumors. Yeah, there's a lot of chatter. And I can't last year with the draft, there wasn't this much talk. I don't remember. Was the Westbrook trade on draft day? I think it was, but there is a ton this year. There's a ton of names just floating around. This guy's getting traded. This guy's getting traded. They're talking about this guy and that guy, but I think the Cavs might make a move. Maybe they trade Garland for Murray or something like that. I think Murray's a better player than Garland, but we'll see what ultimately happens. John Collins in the Boston Celtics has that's been something that's been thrown around, and apparently John Collins isn't really worth too much. And for my Raptors, I would love to go and get John Collins. What is his contract, John Collins? I don't know. He signed a 5-year, $125 million deal. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2026. He's making average of $25 million per year. So he's at a pretty high contract. Derpy Gaming says, or what we could do is trade to Washington for Kuzma and KCP, but I don't know what the package would be. Yeah, that would be a good trade. I mean, I think Cleveland's closer than a lot of people, think. But I still don't think you guys have a star. I think Garland's a very good player. I don't think he's in that star category yet. I think he could get there. But fuck that Collins contract. Yeah, it's expensive. If it was 17, 18 million, it would make sense. But at 25, it's just expensive. But this comment here, Kuzma and KCP, the package, that's interesting. It would probably have to be 39, that 39th pick, and then I would think a roster player and an additional future second, but that, I don't know. Because I think Washington's going to blow it up. I think they have to. I mean, they're just in way too tough of a spot to compete. They just can't. They're just not in a position. Beal's probably going to leave. They don't have much left there. They got to go through a full-on rebuild, and I don't know why they're taking so long to do it. The longer they wait, the worse it's going to be. But Derpy Gaming, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so. I make a ton of NBA content, NHL, NFL, MLB. So sub up if you haven't already done so. And I appreciate you for being in here. Hit the thumbs up. Tonight's going to be exciting with the NBA draft, of course. Who do you want the Cavs to take, though, at number 14 overall? If they do keep the pick, what do you want them to do? A lot of Raptor content creators actually put out the suggestion of a Jared Allen for OG Anunoby trade. As a Raptor fan, I don't know if I would do that. What do you think as a Cav fan? I think that's a pretty even trade, but if I'm the Raptors, I'm just keeping my team as is, I think. Kuzma is the wing we need, and KCP is the backup point guard we need. Yeah, it would be a great trade for you guys. It just depends, at what cost, because you can't overpay, right? You can't give too much up. So it could make sense, but we'll see. I think Kuzma ultimately, I think he does get traded tonight, but we'll see what happens. I got 3 players on my mind right now: Eason, Agbaji, and Branham. So Agbaji is projected to go at 17 to the Rockets. So you guys in this mock, and I think it's a very credible mock. Tankathon, I like Tankathon. They have you passing up on him, passing up on Eason. He goes 1 pick after you, and then Malachi Branham as well, going 18. So you pass up on all 3 in this specific mock. So I think you would be pissed, I guess, if they end up doing that. They have you guys taking AJ Griffin, who is good. He's a 6'6" small forward. He weighs 222. But he would be. Those would be good picks. Drake trying to rob us or something. Oh, the Jared Allen for Anunoby. I mean, OG Anunoby is a solid player. He's just a fantastic player. And he's at an affordable price, $20 million a year for what he does. You can't really find it anymore. But, if you wouldn't want to do it, then, it is what it is. Griffin can shoot, though. I wouldn't mind him. He can shoot. He didn't put up great numbers, but again, college stats isn't so much. It isn't so. It's not something to really look at. I mean, you could have a guy in one league that did in one conference that did these numbers, and then another guy that put up these numbers, right? You just take a look at the guy who's projected to go 58th to the Cavs, Jabari Walker. He put up 19 points a game, 12 boards a game, right? And then you look at a guy who's going in the first round, he averaged 13 points and 9 rebounds. So stats is tough in terms of college basketball. You just got to kind of watch the player and really see what they're like. I think in terms of scouting, that's the biggest thing. But your Cavs, they've had a good turnaround, and I think that they'll probably be in the playoffs next year. They're playing for sure if you guys could stay healthy, but I think the playoffs is a realistic target for you guys. So we'll see what happens there. Those are just the players that I believe the Cavs have high interest in. So that would be smart. Those are 3 good players. Out of those 3 names you gave me, personally, I like Agbaji the most. I think he came from a really good school in Kansas. So That's out of those three, that's my favorite name. But I mean, there's just so many good players in the draft, and there's so many guys that are going to be solid undrafted players, right? So we'll see what happens. Sharif O'Neal is he's in the draft class. He's expected to be not really drafted tonight, but then he will probably be a undrafted free agent signing. But because he's Shaquille O'Neal's son, that will boost his stock. So we'll see what happens there. But at this point, I believe we're trading those picks for a star. That would be great. I mean, if we could get a blockbuster deal tonight, that would be something. So we'll see what ends up happening there. But I could see it. I could see a blockbuster deal. So we'll stay tuned for that. It's going to be a fun night, as the draft always is. It's always fun. So we'll see what happens there. What we really need is a starting wing in depth. Every team needs depth. You can never run out of depth, especially with the injuries that are in this game. Depth is so important. Okoro and Osman are not it. Osman just is not it for sure. He hasn't proven it, and he's gotten multiple chances. As for Okoro, I think he's still young. He could improve, but you guys got to get better players than that in terms of depth, and hope Okoro can progress and then be, in a year or two, be a really solid bench player, or even if he can really take a step up and become a good starter. But I think Osman, you guys got to get out of Cleveland. He's been there for too long, and it just isn't panning out. So that I think if you guys can find someone to take him tonight, I think you might trade him. But not too many teams are going to want Cedi Osman. What's his contract? Let's do some research on that. See, I believe he's still young. Well, he's 27 years old, so that is, I mean, he's not young, but at the same time, he's not old. He signed a 4-year, $31 million deal. Yeah, that's just too much. You cannot have Cedi Osman making that. So he's making 7.4 next year, and then 6.7 the year after, and in 2024 he's a free agent. So I mean, if you guys can get someone to take that contract, it's some money that you can maneuver and do other stuff with. So that would be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what you guys do tonight. But it's nice talking about other teams I don't normally talk about. Yeah, I know. You guys really turned it around the last couple of years. I think before, really after you guys won that last title, you guys haven't really been good. And then now you're starting to get back up there now. So, I mean, good for you guys, and hopefully you're able to hopefully you guys are able to start winning some games and be a good team again. I mean, you guys, of course, aren't going to have another player like LeBron at least anytime soon. But if you can get some good young guys, some good young stars, you guys could be building something there. What do you think the chances of Mitchell are? Chances of Mitchell to the Cavs? I mean, it's just too tough. I don't know if they trade him at all, but if they do, I think the Cavs are a strong possibility. I think it's probably what would the package be? I think it's probably I don't know, let's say a 15% chance that he goes to the Cavs. And then I mean, as for a package, it's tough. I mean, you guys honestly might have to trade him. Like, you might have to trade one of your better young players. I mean, the Jazz really won a lot in terms of draft scenarios, but I would think it would probably be Sexton, Okoro, the 14th pick, Levert, and another first-round pick. Something like that. It would take a lot. Donovan Mitchell is a solid player. I wouldn't mind trading Sexton. Yeah, you guys prove that you can win without him, right? You guys prove that you can win without him this season when he went down with the injury. So that would be interesting if you guys really want him that bad, Mitchell that bad. I think Sexton would be in the deal. I'm sure Utah would try to get Garland off of you guys, but you guys wouldn't really do that. Although if it was a 1-for-1, you guys getting Mitchell for Garland, if I'm the Cavs, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. But I think that Utah is probably going to want to package around Garland, like the 39th pick and Garland, or a first-round pick in Garland or something like that. And I think that that's a lot. But, he's Donovan Mitchell at the end of the day. But the Jazz are just really stubborn in terms of trade talks. A lot of GMs and executives, they're not really happy with the way the Rudy Gobert conversations were going because they're valuing him too high for a $45 million player that does not play. He plays like a $35 million guy, so it's interesting. Osman, Sexton, 14 and 39, and future. Future first, I'm guessing that. I don't know if that would be enough. I really don't. I think that Utah, they view him as a superstar. I think he is a superstar, but at the end of the day, they're not going to just give him away for nothing. It's not like they're going through a rebuild yet. They still haven't figured out what exactly they're going to do. And time's running out on them, but it's interesting because the longer they wait to figure things out, the worse it's going to be. So that is interesting. But you guys need to not you guys. You guys are in a decent spot. But let's see what happens tonight. They need to blow it up, though. I think they do too. Their coach left them, so they're in a tight spot for sure. But all the new viewers, I appreciate you guys for being here. Please leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already done so. Leave a comment down below in the chat. Derpy Gaming keeping things going. I appreciate that from you, buddy. And good luck to you and your Cavs tonight in this NBA draft. That Washington trade, though. Which Washington trade? Which one? The Kuzma and KCP? That would be smart for you guys. I'm not sure if you're talking about that. We're just over 5 hours away from the start of the draft. Yeah, it would be good for you guys. I think that would be a smart trade, but we'll see what happens there. Let's see the Cavs rumors, the latest Cavs rumors. Let's take a look. Yeah, see, the Cavs have had conversations with the Spurs on trade for DeJounte Murray. That would be that. If you guys are trading for a superstar, that would be my pick for the most likely guy. For Okoro, Sexton, and 39 type package, and that would be smart. I would do that if I were you guys. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, everything that I'm seeing is DeJounte Murray being linked to the Cavs. So that's interesting. A lot of people on Twitter like Ron Harper Jr. for the Cavs in the second round. That could be a good pick. You guys have a lot of second round picks, so that could make a lot of sense. If you guys elect to do with one of those, you guys also exercise the 4th-year team option on Dean Wade, so he'll be back with you guys next year. Not sure how you like that move. Let's look at some Raptors mock trade ideas. I don't like this one, but the Raptors received Kendrick Nunn, Taylor Horton Tucker, and a 2027 first round pick from the Lakers for Gary Trent Jr. I would not do that. Of course, from a Raptors perspective, as a Raptor fan, what do you guys think from a Raptors perspective about that trade? I would not do it. You guys let me know what you think. Let's find some more mock trades. Svi Mykhailiuk is back with the Raptors. They got him on. He came back. He's coming back. He accepted his player option. See this article: 3 NBA draft rumors that would be bad news for the Raptors. Cavaliers trading down and getting another first. High end trade target. John Collins going to Sacramento. The Raptors may need to look at John Collins apparently, and then the Knicks getting Jaden Ivey. So basically, they're just saying, hopefully for the Raptors that the other Eastern Conference teams don't do good things tonight, which is pretty true. I mean, you obviously hope that teams in your conference don't, build a better team than you. You're obviously always trying to do better than your opponents, especially ones that you're fighting for playoff berths and seedings. So that's interesting. This article has 5 trade scenarios the Raptors must prepare for this offseason. Trailblazers ditched Josh Hart and start a rebuild. Well, that didn't happen because they just went out and traded a future first for a player that's, for a win now move. The Kings move Harrison Barnes. He would be a good fit for the Raptors, but he might be a little bit expensive. Let's see the next one. If we can get it to load. And Pistons ditched Jeremy Grant. They did that. He did it last night, and he went to the Portland Trailblazers. Warriors pull the plug on James Wiseman. That would be interesting. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leaves the Thunder. If the Raptors were to get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that would be unbelievable. That would be very, very fun. That's a player that is a Canadian-born guy. You would get the fans get going. He would love to come play here. But that would cost a lot. That would cost a ton. He'd be ideal, though, for the Raptors. Just imagine Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in a Raptor uniform with the fans. A lot of fans, really follow him well because of how much they like him. But that would be interesting. That's for sure. What do you guys want the Raptors to do tonight? Let me know down in the chat. Leave a like on the stream. Subscribe if you guys haven't already done so. 5 potential trades the Raptors should look at. This came out on quite a bit ago. About a month ago. All right. This one I already don't like. Malachi Flynn, Ken Birch, and Gary Trent Jr. for Pirtle and Doug McDermott. No, I would not do that. That's a brutal trade in my opinion, and that would make no sense for the Raptors. Let's see the next one. The next trade is with Memphis. Steven Adams, Melton, Brandon Clark, Zaire Williams, and Xavier Tillman for. This is brutal. Siakam, Birch, and Flynn. No, again, this is a Raptors account that's just making awful suggestions. That would be a terrible trade. I don't think anybody would be happy with that. Let's see the next one. This is with the Orlando Magic. Pascal and Van Vliet. Wow, this is god-awful. Pascal and Van Vliet for Isaac, Fultz, Ross, and Chuma Okeke. Isaac is always injured. Fultz is a bust. Ross is nothing great anymore. And Okeke's just an average young guy. That's a terrible trade. The next one, Jeremy Grant and Isaiah Livers for Gary Trent Jr. and Ken Birch. I would not do that, but that's probably the best one that we found so far. And then the final one. This is terrible. Van Vliet and Flynn for Sengun, Garuba, and Gordon. This is just a pathetic list. Hoops 22, what's going on, buddy? Palo to OKC, hopefully. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be pretty cool for OKC. My boy Shai needs another star. Yeah, we just talked about him and the possibility of him coming to the Raptors. That would be amazing. I would love that for that to happen, but it would cost the Raptors a lot, and it's probably more likely, when he's a free agent. And I think it's actually a high possibility when he becomes a free agent. One Chet bench, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Jabari Smith goes first. I think Holmgren goes second and Banchero third. Jovic is not going fourth. That you can guarantee. That isn't happening. Hoops 22 with a hot take here. I think Jaden Ivey probably goes 4, Banchero 3, Holmgren 2, and Jabari Smith number 1. I think Jabari Smith at 1 is close to a lock at this point. We're under 5 hours from the draft. Shea to T.O., Katie to Portland. Those are hot takes. I mean, I don't think Katie's going anywhere. I think Irving is going to sign a contract with the Nets that the Nets should not give him. But we'll see what happens. Errol James, go Kai Soto. Kai Soto was very good. He's a solid player. In the range of where the Raptors are picking. So that would be interesting. If the Raptors ended up getting him, I wouldn't be mad at that. I think he's a solid player that could make sense. But any new any new viewers, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, make tons of sports content. So hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate every new viewer and all the support you guys always show. And I'm looking forward to continuing to grow the channel as we're almost at that 500 mark. Help me get there. It's going to be exciting tonight with the NBA draft. Let me know your favorite team and what you want them to do tonight. And then we will talk about it. I've been live over an hour already. Probably go a few more minutes, and then we'll close things up before getting ready for the draft tonight. It's going to be very exciting, as it always is. Drafts are always fun. Who is the NBA GOAT in your opinion? I think it's LeBron James. I think people ask this quite a bit. I think it's LeBron. I think he's just what he was able to do and what he is able to do is just absolutely unbelievable. I think it's close between him and Jordan, but in my opinion, it's LeBron James. I really like LeBron. I think he's the better all-time player of the two. You think it's Jordan? Well, it seems pretty 50-50 between basketball fans, but it's definitely interesting, to say the least. MJ over LeBron over Kobe over Kareem and Wilt. Yeah, that's a pretty decent top 5. I think the players in it is pretty decent, and switch up the order a bit, but looks good. Any new viewers, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to Hoops 22. He's taking a little break, but he'll be back at some point to produce some basketball content. Well, I guess he won't be posting more content, so I guess don't subscribe to his channel. But guys, I am going to close this out. It's been a fun last hour and a bit. I appreciate everybody for coming in here and supporting the channel, supporting the stream. I appreciate that as always. And like I said, if you guys are new, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and as always, enjoy the draft tonight. Stay tuned for lots of content, upcoming content. We're going to have tons of it on the channel, in the near future. So stay tuned for that. Stay subscribed. And as always, thank you guys so much for being here and watching. And as always, let's go Raptors. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Giants. Go Leafs. Go. See you guys all soon. And peace.